some awesome knowledge, or creating
Mhm.
a space for awesome knowledge to
Yeah.
be shared. And if you're here, say hello, hello. Yep, that's it. That's now LinkedIn going too. If you're here, say hello, or watching the replay, say hey, hashtag replay, and or type it. It might be easier. And yeah, yeah, this is exciting because I've met Janelle over the last. We've been hanging out every week for the last year, nearly 8 months, something like that. Wow, it's been going, and and yeah, it's really fascinating to see the journey of what I've known through theory
Yeah.
in practice, and then also then seeing others doing certain things that I've studied as like, oh, I want to know about that, but I'm going to put that to the side for a moment and make sure that I'm doing one thing well before trying to do all these different things and nothing happening at all. And so one of those things is like incredible 3 day events, and
Hmm.
also and 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 actually serving people at such a level that they want a coaching program from that space is fantastic to see Janelle uh, rocking the scene with this. And if you're interested in live events and sharing a story without having to, um, there's so many different business models. There's different things to do, and I always found it much more useful to go, what do I resonate with and maximize on that. And so some people can write books, and some people like to talk, and some people I realized I needed to learn how to talk and actually love talking. I just was really frustrated with not knowing how to or believing I wasn't able to talk about my ideas. So I'm really excited. That's why I got into doing interviews with people as well. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Janelle Anderson, and we're who's now been coined or no coined and coined and termed
Ground.
the 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 workshop queen. Ooh, so first of all, let's just get a bit of idea going on in terms of how that's come about for you, Janelle.
Yeah, it's been a long, winding journey, actually, not a straight line. I started coaching 11 years ago and was focused on women in their midlife years, just, helping them discover who they are and what they want to do next, that kind of thing. Did that for quite a few years. My tagline back then was helping women 40 plus quit their day job and do what they really want. But then along the way, I started really getting interested in, well, all along I was doing workshops. I've always done workshops to attract to me my audience, and I figure if I get more than one person in the room to talk to, then I'd be better chances of finding clients. So most of that time I was doing one-on-one coaching. I had tried some group stuff, but it never really worked. And then I started learning how to speak. I decided if I could speak really well on podcasts and summits and in-person stages that would help me. So I started really learning how and developing the skill and learning how to tell great stories. And then I started teaching women who had businesses to speak well and tell stories so that when they're out and about networking or speaking, that would help them. So I did that for a while. And then all along I was doing events and learning how to do 3 day events. And our mentor was teaching that, and I was joining his event team. And so learning how everything runs from behind the scenes. And he told me at one point, he said, you should be teaching people how to host virtual events because, as we all know, since COVID, everybody's online. And I thought, okay, I hadn't thought of that, but okay. And he says, you know how to do them, you're doing them. You've been on my team for a while now, a couple years by then. And so I started pivoting to that and just started talking about virtual events. And then just recently, I decided I'm going to talk about one type of event for coaches. because this really works well for coaches. The business I've built is a great model for coaches, and it starts with doing these workshops. So I have landed there and have developed what I call a client enrollment workshop. It's a type of workshop that I can teach coaches to do. And they run it every month, and it becomes a system. Instead of chasing after the next client, you actually are creating a space for them to come and find you. And that makes it much easier all around. So that's how I landed there.
Brilliant, amazing. What is why is that so important to you, Janelle?
Mhm. Well, like I said, I've always done workshops. I figured I have a teaching background, so it was easy for me to put together content, right? And to teach. I love to teach. So I figured if I could get a group of women in the room with me to connect with them, they can get to know me, I can get to know them, we can create some kind of a relationship, there can be trust built, then it only makes sense that that would help them to decide to hire me instead of me just putting a random post on social media or even a video, which is one way they hear me, but I'm not connecting back and forth with them, then that would make sense to me. So and doing the workshops was super fun. It's always been fun. I've loved doing them because everybody always left feeling like, really excited and really thankful. And thank you so much for all this great stuff you just gave us. The problem I was having was that I was not converting very many from my workshops enough to build a business into clients because I was running a teaching event instead of an enrollment event, and I didn't realize the difference. But one of the best things about doing workshops is the back and forth connection. It is that place of a safe space where people can come and feel heard and seen, and that's what they long for. When I ask my audiences, why do you go to virtual events, and many of them are going to several every week, why do you get on your computer and go to so many virtual events? And the number one answer is always connection. They want to learn something, but they want to connect. People are longing for connection. It's a crazy world out there, and loneliness is an epidemic. And so when you offer that and you invite your audience into a room with you and you share and you ask them questions and they share, it just creates this awesome environment, and people start smiling and they love it. And especially if you're engaging with them, and then if it leads directly to an offer that makes sense for them, then they'll take it. So it's fun. That's one of the reasons why it's important. It's fun, but it also creates that connection and that trust. And people won't buy unless they trust you. So that's one reason it's so important.
Yeah,
Um,
brilliant.
yeah.
Love it, love it. And I like what you said about creating connection and also the Q&A part of it, which brings so much value for people because it's personalizing that information that would be you could watch a YouTube video, but then you don't get any answers. Maybe you can read lots of comments and get some kind of ideas, but that real sense of what it is, my specific situation, that's real massive value. And actually, it was one we kind of like answered a little bit of the question that some people maybe are wondering because they go want to teach and they're passionate about it and they feel like if it becomes an enrollment conversation or focus,
Hmm.
there's that balance of like, but I want to serve value so that people want to enroll. The if it becomes about enrollment, then am I losing am I losing that sense of soul of helping people? And what would you say to that?
Yes, such a good question. It's a delicate balance, actually. If you're just teaching, you're not going to enroll very many, you're not going to get very many clients. People will leave happy that they had a great time, but it's not going to help you build your business. And if you just focus on enrollment and it feels like a sales thing, then that won't work either. So there's a strategy that I teach to do both and do it well, where you are giving value. If they don't enroll, they still feel really satisfied that they had a good time, that they walked away with something they can use. So you want to make sure that you are delivering that. And at the same time, as you're delivering it, you are showing them what is next. You are showing them that, okay, you're here now, we're working on this now, but there's so much more. And if you want to step into the more, here's the invitation. But you still give them some. So the best way to do that is to have a very specific one breakthrough for them in mind for your workshop. What's the one thing you want them to walk away with? Don't try to overteach. That's one of the problems with focusing on teaching is you end up overstuffing the audience. It's like trying to feed them an entire buffet with all this information and you just blast them with it. I used to do this all the time because I'm a teacher. And then they are like, wow, that was a lot. I have to go digest this now. So I can't do anything else with you because you just gave me so much. And that ends up creating what's called false closure. And they feel like they have everything they need. They just need to go study it some more and then they can implement on their own when they really can't or don't. I mean, most people don't implement on their own when they learn something in a workshop. And so you're really doing a disservice if you're so focused on the teaching and you overstuff them, then they won't see the need to step into the place where they could actually implement and integrate and go deeper with you and have a deeper transformation, which is what you're offering.
Amazing. Yeah. And that's how I got into coaching was because I wanted to help people with their health and moving and breathing well. And I was so passionate about the process of there's not this container that's being offered in healthcare services on its own. I didn't even know the word coaching existed. I was like, there's got to be something that is okay to say we're going to go from here to here,
Mhm.
and it the extreme value of sticking to a target to make it happen is so important for the coaching of
Mhm.
the coaching. Otherwise it's more just a teaching, like you say. So this go transitioning from like teaching to coaching, and why it's so important to stick to explaining why coaching is important for people. Otherwise, they won't realize that they've got to sit there and keep practicing and doing the thing that they want to learn, so that they actually become that skill, become that thing that they always wanted, rather than being on their own, wishing and or trying and then giving up or whatever it is. So I
Mhm.
really value what you're sharing there, and there is really that's really important. Um, yeah.
And I think like what you just said brought up another, my passion is to help many, many, thousands of coaches, I hope, uh, to become successful in their business so that they can transform many lives. Because what's happening in the coaching industry statistically is 80% of most coaches don't make it past year three. And if they do, they're barely surviving. And it's because they were taught to coach, but they weren't taught to build a business. And most coaches are just, we just want to help. We want to help people. We want to transform lives. That's why we became a coach. We don't want to market and sell and all that other stuff. And so, then a lot of coaches actually are like resistant to marketing and selling. I was too for a long time because it feels like I'm not helping. I'm trying to sell. But you have to also know how to do that or you won't make it. It'll become a hobby and not a business that can sustain you and put you in a position where you can help more people. So, what I've learned over the years is how to do both. And my desire is to help coaches to do the business side of things in a way that's authentic, in a way that feels very aligned with who they are, and even the selling part of it is more of an invitation. You're not convincing people to work with you, but you're presenting to them what you do. You're helping them in the workshop, and then you're inviting them to go deeper and setting it up in such a way where people see that gap. Like, yeah, and to know that nobody really gets real transformation on their own, and it's not something that happens quickly. So this system really releases coaches to more easily attract those people to them and have the time and the space and the energy to actually um, have or help people have those transformations, which is really the goal. The goal is to transform people's lives. That's the ultimate goal. It's it's not, most coaches aren't in it to just make money. We have to make money in order to coach, you know? And I remember at the beginning of my coaching practice, I used to think, well, if I just tell people I'm coaching, then they'll want to work with me because everybody needs a coach, right? But like you were saying, letting people know what coaching even is, most people don't know what it is. Even though it's a big industry now, most people have a lot of misconceptions. And so just saying, hey, I'm a coach and I can give you these coaching sessions doesn't usually work because people aren't really thinking I need coaching. They're thinking I need to solve this problem or I want to become this person. I want this result. And the means to it is coaching, but they don't really care about that. They want to know, will you help me get there? And so being able to present it in such a way that people hear you, they need to be able to hear what it is that you're offering, and they need to be able to see that what they are looking for and what they want and need, they can get that with you. And so it's a lot of mindset shifting for coaches and how they approach their potential clients.
Whoop, whoop. Amazing. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Because it's all talking to my idea of you found find the sweet spot of provide information enough to have people to have a breakthrough, which is the value, which is not the same as what you can do, what someone can do over a longer period of time. So none of it is fighting for space. It's all got its place and relevance. Like the content teaches a little bit tips. The workshop has a really specific way of
Yeah.
taking someone through a bigger net in some way that people get value, but then it's only those particular ones that go into doing the coaching. So it kind of helps introduce the whole topic, and then that means that someone may have a life-changing thing that didn't
Mhm.
need your actual coaching in the first place. So it serves that space as well. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
That's a cool thought too. Is like I've been talking about this a lot lately, is that even inside your workshop, you can transform lives in the workshop itself, whether they become your client or not, just by showing up and serving them and seeing them and hearing them and really genuinely, helping them, listening to them, doing some coaching with them right there on the spot, or, letting them kind of absorb what you're saying and apply it to themselves. I was doing a 3-day event. This was years ago, a couple years, 3 years ago or something. And a woman was there. We were talking about storytelling. And she came on camera about halfway through the second day and said, I don't have a story. And she looked like she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. And I'm like, wow, I could have said to her, well, just go do the exercise and go do this and go do that. But no, you want to be able to take the time with people in the room and listen to them and help them right there on the spot. So that's what we did. I asked her to tell me about her life, and she told the story of she'd been homeless for months, living in a car and feeling totally rejected by the world and no hope and all of that. And she somehow found a way to climb out of that. And at this point, she had a job and a place to live. And I was like, that's an incredible story. Look what you can do with that, with your experience of that, just even that, and how you got yourself from there to where you are now. You've got an amazing story and amazing ability to help transform people's lives. So her face started lighting up. She started smiling. You could see the confidence building. And then by the end of the event, she announced, I'm going to start a coaching business. And she did not become my client at the time. But then a couple years later, I start seeing Facebook posts from her announcing that she was starting her coaching business. And so that just shows you right there, like I had an opportunity to transform somebody's life, to like change the course of her life just by listening and being there. And that's another thing that makes these events so powerful is you don't go into them thinking, okay, the only reason I'm here doing this workshop is to get as many clients as I can or make as much money as I can. I mean, you want to have a goal of what you want to hit, but you go into it with the frame of mind of and the energy and how you show up in service. Like these people are here, they're taking their time and they're showing up in this room with me right now. And they're here because they want to learn something and they want to connect. So in that moment, being present in the moment and showing up for them can change lives completely. And of course, you'll get clients because that happens, you know. So,
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful, amazing, amazing. I wonder what, and if you're watching this, if there's what you're getting from this, what your highlight is so far. You know, give us a
Yeah.
question or a highlight, there's also what I like to call the Viva the Coaching Revolution, which I say a lot, which is because I think it really will help to transform the economy in itself through helping others and a whole knowledge. It is already booming, of course, but it's also about learning how to do business, like you say, in a way that's authentic and the way that can be done efficiently and not trying to the whole trying heart-centered approach instead. So the heart-centered approach to reaching out and sharing knowledge will mean that people just spend less time buying stuff they don't need because they're sold it because they feel shit about they feel awful about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so let's all help each other at the same time. So there's no competition. It's all about which bit to learn next and just keep the economy going that way.
Mhm.
And the second piece on it is that um, I'm wondering what your favorite highlight is the the of doing a virtual event is in the spaces. What's a favorite thing within what you do specifically that you like to do again and again inside one of these events?
Oh, that's a good one. What I love is when people, you know, at the very beginning, people are off camera or they're quiet and they don't know you yet and they don't, you know, they're just coming more in a frame of mind. I'm just going to listen and see what this girl's talking about. But what I love is when because I take time to really make them feel safe. This is a place where we're going to interact and we're going to have fun, and you know, and encouraging them to come on camera and interact with me because I love to know more about you. Turning it around from it's not about me because I'm the presenter, but it's about you. And once I start to see them respond to that and start opening up and start sharing and raising their hands, I love that. And I always tell my audience, like, you actually make this, even though it's the same content, mostly, you, because you're here, this unique combination of humans in the room, you are going to make it a unique event because you're here. You help shape the event by your questions, the aha moments you have, the struggles you have. When you start engaging and interacting and contributing, it makes it a very unique event. And I always can't wait to hear what it is they're doing, what it is what's their niche, what's their coaching business about, who do they want to help, how do they want to help them, what expertise do they have, and they start telling me these things, and I'm always blown away because it's always a room full of amazing, talented, smart experts who have amazing ability to help people in their own niche. And there's such a variety of niches. So I love hearing that. I love to find out about people, what makes them who they are, and why they want to coach and that kind of stuff.
Amazing, amazing. And to just to tie it all together here, I also want to make sure that people realize that we're not talking just about, um, you know, obviously you do the shorter workshop event to help people to learn how to do that, but what you're actually bringing very soon into the space of the level of value that gets brought to a 3 day event. I would love you to just share the kind of things to expect in one of those events because it is next level and it really is transformational when without having to think about the next step or the next offer as well. Yeah, do share.
Yes, 3 day events are my favorite because you have 3 full days to really develop an idea and work with people over 3 days. There are a lot of 3 day events, and you may have noticed that. Some people, I just got a text from somebody today saying she couldn't come to mine because it's too long and she's got all these other things to do. And a lot of times, if you're new to the 3 day event format, that's what people are thinking, like 3 days. Are you crazy? I can't sit there for 3 full days. And but think of it like this. If you were to go to a conference in person, you would set aside 3 days or however long it is, and you would actually travel there and you would not be doing your usual routine at home. You'd set aside that time to go and learn and immerse yourself in the environment in whatever it is that conference is about, right? So if you think about that same concept with a 3 day online event, you'll get so much more out of it. It is a time to set aside as if you were traveling away, clear your calendar, and immerse yourself in that event to get the most out of it. And they're phenomenal. They're transformational. I can't tell you how many aha moments people have and how many things change in their thinking and in their perspective, or even in their vision of what they want to accomplish. They'll shift and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this is what I really want to do, and bringing so much clarity and direction. And in my event, we are actually implementing as we go through the 3 days. We're building your workshop with you. And by the end of it, you have an outline, you have the plan put together. It's not like you're sitting there just listening to information for 3 full days. That would be awful. But you are actually doing stuff and doing exercises, writing things out, following a plan, and then you're in breakout rooms talking to other people and you're asking questions and getting coached on stage or watching somebody else getting coached on stage. And by the end of it, you walk away with a tangible thing that you created. In mine, it's a workshop outline. And then you're hearing from other people, that other experts that come in the room, and having fun. We do fun things like prize wheels and energizers and dance parties. So we take breaks. I mean, it's the first time you go to a 3 day event, I mean, the first time I did, it was like, felt really, really long and I was really, really tired. Now I'm so used to them. It's like, whatever. But um, it does go by fast, especially if you are totally immersed in it and you are engaging with people and not just sitting there watching off camera, but if you're actually a part of the event as if you were there in person, that makes a big, big difference. Not only for how you learn, but other people will see you and hear you, and you never know who's in the room that might want to work with you or might want to reach out to you because you said something that really triggered them or really connected with them. So there's this community that builds over the 3 days. And as far as like hosting a 3 day event, it's one of the most profitable things you can do for your business. Absolutely. You can make six figures in 3 days if you do it right. Um, there's there's a lot to learn to do that correctly. But people are doing it all the time. And the reason why all these experts and coaches are doing 3 day events is because it is the best way to offer your higher end program. And, you know, a lot of coaches, their business depends on their 3 day events. That's where they get the bulk of their income all year. And that's where they're enrolling clients into a longer program, like a year, where they really, really can get transformation, learn skills, make things happen, implement things, by a year later, have a completely different situation because it, takes time and you have somebody walking with you alongside you and giving you all these resources. You can't get those in a short program. And in a short workshop, you can only share so much, and over 3 days, you really have the time to relax and breathe and share and let people work with the material and um, ask questions and all that good stuff. So it's really fun and very profitable.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, because it's like that really reminds me of the difference between sitting there with like a few hours a week and getting something done. For some
Mhm.
people prefer to spread it out over a 6 week course, a little bit shorter, a few hours a week. If it's a longer bit of content to do a lot more homework, but I'd imagine that it all being compressed into 3 days means it's probably, it is different, but it serves a much bigger purpose to build on something much quicker to get something, a blueprint of something. three
Yeah,
days can
yeah.
be so much more powerful in that way. So yeah,
There's
well done, Janelle.
Instead of spending 6 weeks to build your workshop, which in my mind, like if coaches want to do a workshop, they don't want to wait 6 weeks to have it put together. They want to do it quickly. So over 3 days. And when you think about it, if a 6 week course, you teach 2 hours a week, that's 12 hours you have with people. If you do a 3 day event, you're with them 8 hours a day for 3 days. That's 24 hours you have with people. You actually have more time with them in the 3 day event than you do over a 6 week course. So it does depend on what you're teaching, whether it should be over 6 weeks or not, because of the time to do the work in between. But for building a workshop, I did a 6 week course on that, and I found that it works better to do it in 3 days because it's compressed and it's faster. You get it done, and then you can start going out there and running your workshops and meeting people and getting clients. And even if they don't become your clients, they've met you, they're going to remember you. They might come back later. They might become a client later. You're building your email list, you're getting visibility, getting known. So many benefits
Yeah.
to.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So, if there's any questions or highlights coming up for anyone watching or you watching, yeah, just yeah, give a shout in the comments, the chat, and questions for Janelle. I'm sure she'll, or I could pass them on if she doesn't see them as well. But I will be tagging in Facebook and LinkedIn, and we're on YouTube too. So, um, lastly, just to wrap it round. Is there anything particularly unique or special around what's happening next week,
Mhm.
Jen?
Yes, I am hosting this thing right here. Virtual Events Boot Camp, March 25th to 27th. We're going to help you turn your monthly workshop into a six-figure coaching business by creating the system that I've been talking about. We're going to walk through my 7-step framework called the Clients Framework, and every day we're going to do a piece of it. And you will learn how to, uh, well, we're going to talk about being confident as a speaker and a host, because a lot of times people get stuck there. Like, who am I to run a workshop? Who's going to even come? Who wants to listen to me? All those stories, I've dealt with them myself too. But to start to see yourself as the authority in the room and the leader that you truly are. So we're going to have some fun with that. And then try to break through any of those blocks that are keeping you from actually doing a workshop. And then we're going to help you create the offer that you're going to make inside of your workshop, which you need to have. You need to have a destination where you're taking people. What's going to happen at the end, and how do you present that so that it's like the natural next step to work with you. So we'll create your offer, and then we're going to create the content for your workshop. What goes where? What do you do, piece like step by step to get to the place where you make your invitation into your offer. And also, like we were saying earlier, give them lots of value. So we're going to talk about how to put together the content, how to keep people engaged, how to keep them interested. And then um, on day 3, we're going to dive into how do you get people in the room? Because that's also one of the major questions. How do I get people to come to my workshop? And that's a big question. There's a lot of strategies behind that. We're going to be talking to some experts and finding out what they do. And I'll be telling you my secrets and my tips. And also a little bit about the tech that you need. That's another thing that gets in people's way. So everything you need, we will cover. And by the end of it, you're going to have a workbook, and you're going to have your workshop plan and your promotion plan and your offer, and be ready to go put it on the calendar, go do it. So super fun.
Wow, amazing. Love it. I love it. And I'm looking forward to it, especially as we've got the pleasure to
Yes.
help keep
Yeah, you're going to be on
momentum
the
going.
team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, helping in the chat
Mhm.
and encouraging those to stay on target. There's like
Yeah.
it's easy to get distracted or forget or not hear something, and the whole point
Yes.
is that when there's a great team, everyone remembers, and it's almost like that thing of the the learning amplifies.
Right.
It's not, yeah, it's that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's that sense of when two masterminds get together, then it becomes a
Mhm.
bigger mind. Or and
Yeah.
then when everyone and the students and the teachers and everyone get together, and it becomes this hub of learning that
Yes,
cannot exist anywhere outside of that
we
moment.
have a great team. It's going to be amazing. Rory's going to help everybody in the chat drop things that I've said that you need repeated and highlight things and chat with you and answer your questions. And we have coaches for you. So you'll get a coaching session to help you with whatever your current issue might be around hosting workshops or business or whatever it might be. They'll have a session with you and they're going to find out your top challenge and help you work through it. And we have an amazing MC, Rachel Hudson, who is just phenomenal to help bring out the learning and bring out the insights and help you feel comfortable, help you feel welcomed. She's almost like a co-host. She has such an important impact to make. And we've got our tech hosts who are going to make sure everything runs smoothly. You know, sometimes tech goes haywire, but we're ready. We have two people there that can help with those kinds of things. So just come to it. It's free. You can come for free. And if you want all the recordings, and there's bonuses too, you can get a VIP ticket for only $47. Super cheap. You get all the recordings. It's like a whole course. You can go watch them later. You'll get some bonus sessions and some bonus courses. So grab a ticket. Tell everybody in your life, look, I'm going to be busy from March 25th to 27th. I'm going to be going to a conference. I might be at home, but I'm going to it and I'm going to put myself into this experience, immerse myself in it for 3 days. And by the end of 3 days, I'm going to walk out with huge value. And you'll walk out with an asset that you can make money with. That's the thing, is this workshop you're going to create can make you, depending on what your offer is, if you're offering a coaching program, it can bring you clients regularly every single month and be a huge um, asset in your business and create that income stream that you need. I'm usually talking to beginner coaches who haven't got there yet, and their biggest problem is finding those clients. It's not consistent enough. So imagine that after 3 days, you're going to have something that will bring you that consistency. There you go.
Amazing, 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 fantastic. That's so exciting to hear.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be some the cool um specific panel discussions as well, isn't there? There's panel discussions on day and three. One
Yep.
about the struggles on one side, and then how to put it out there on the
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
so really cool.
Amazing experts we're having come. We'll have some speakers, some featured speakers, and you're going to have so much being poured into you. And like I said, that first day and the panel for day one, Rory will be on that one as well. That first day, we're going to do a lot of work for you around you, who you are. Like it isn't just about the structure and the techniques and the technical pieces of a workshop. It's about you and how you show up and who are you when you show up. And, what are those things that you need to address and deal with so that you can show up totally in your power and in your authenticity and in your genius when you're in the room with people. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. I think you're going to have some mindset shifts and some great insights and some things happening inside that will be like great breakthroughs for you personally as a coach. And so yes, we're going to learn the structure and put the pieces together, but this piece of you, who you are and how you're showing up and being able to free you from any self-doubt or imposter syndrome around this, that's going to be a major part of this. So I'm super excited.
Amazing, amazing. Well done, Janelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Proud of you to be putting this on and how much dedication and years of work you keep pouring into it. And it's just showing up as impact in the world as 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 a as proof that it works as a business. as
Mhm.
well as that you can turn teaching into coaching, and that you
Mhm.
can do it from a place of sharing knowledge and
Yeah.
inspiration, not having to do it from this sort of uh, you know,
Pushing energy or striving or yeah, showing up in your authenticity. It's a big part of it. You have to be real with people. They won't stick around if you're not. And so a lot of times you're nervous at first, but just, being able to feel confident, like I am bringing something of huge value to these people and they really want it and need it. And um, that that's a big part of it. I think we've all been to events where it felt very pushy and that energy of trying to convince people and you have 5 minutes to sign up and all this and if you don't sign up you're missing out, that kind of energy. No. So I feel like at least the coaches I attract, they are very heart-centered. They want to be authentic. They want to make the invitation to come and change your life, and this is how it can happen. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So if that's you, come on to the virtual events bootcamp. Come on. Oh, other way. Come on, join us.
Yay! Amazing, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, Janelle. That's been gold to hear and really inspiring and part of my aspirations to get to that point too. So,
Yes.
you're an inspiration. Thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
any questions or highlights that you've got from this, if you've been watching, or like, share, comment if there's something that will help spread the ripple effect of hey, we are here to help transform the world through helping people buy into what they do want, what they don't want in
Right.
life. And so what better way than I believe the coaching industry, even though there's so much, yeah, like you say, it can be one thing or another, or there's been difficult experiences with being sold into something, but
Mhm.
that's why we got to show up even further. It's not shy away from that. Learn what works from who's doing it. So please don't just let this go by. There's a call. I love the phrase call to action, because call to action is if there's a calling to take action on something from here to the world or to yourself, then these spaces are amazing for that. And let's grow together. So yeah, 27th, 25th to the 27th next week.
Yep.
Uh, 3-day
Yep.
event.
Coming up
Um,
soon.
Build a workshop. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Highlights, feedback, comments in the question. Speak to you soon. All the best. Much love. Take it easy.
Bye bye.